This is not about a blow dryer, and if you thought it was, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because these conversations are hotter than that flat iron you're still wondering if you left on. I'm Kat, a hairstylist, educator, and one of the beauty industry's beautifully defiant misfits. This podcast isn't about viral hair trends, client bashing, or the latest formula for whatever shade of brown we're renaming this season. It's about the stories, the lessons, and the trial and error moments that shape careers, confidence, and the craft. So whether you're starting your journey in Cosmo School, thriving behind the chair, still finding your rhythm, or just looking for that push to get back on track, welcome to This Is Not About a Blow Dryer, where we talk beauty in a whole new way. Journey of a Cosmo student. Success is not one size fits all. Welcome back. I'm Kat. You know what I had to learn the hard way? Don't make yourself small to fit someone else's idea of success. Here's the thing. Success doesn't look the same to everyone. For some stylists, it's being double booked 5 days a week with a 6-month wait list and 2 assistants. For others, it's working 3 days a week leasing a chair. Some people build out a salon in their home. Some just want to pay their bills comfortably. And some want the big lights, the international stages, and the glam life. There's no one right way to do it. But the two things that almost all of us share is we want to be able to support ourselves financially, and we want to make other people happy. Unless your goal is to piss off a bunch of clients, in which case, please DM me because we need to unpack that one. Here's what I didn't realize back in beauty school. The foundation for any version of success is experience and knowledge. Now, did I act like I had already arrived? Absolutely. But truthfully, I was still wet behind the ears. What I did know, though, was what I wanted. I wanted the rock star hairstylist life, the high-end salon. I knew I didn't want to be in my small town, middle of the map, Washington. I wanted that sparkly Emerald City just a few hours away. Now, I did still take the time to go look at some of the higher end salons in my area. And if I'm entirely honest, whenever I walked into it, it just didn't feel right. It almost felt like putting on a shoe that you knew you weren't going to be able to walk in, right? Something about it was just not telling me it was for me. So I went into the Emerald City and I toured some places, and I found myself touring a really fancy training center. Now, this place, it looked polished, chic. For some reason, I thought it was very beige or maybe very pink. I don't know, but that's just how I remember it. Right in the heart of downtown Seattle. I believe it was like 3 stories. It was massive. But something about it felt too much like another layer of beauty school. On top of that, it was really expensive. It was regular working hours. They made you specialize on whether you wanted to be a hair cutter, a colorist, or a stylist. And it was too much of the time and honestly money that I didn't have. That same night, I was sitting on my friend's couch with some takeout. I think we were watching something like Desperate Housewives on TV. And he reminded me of another salon. Him and I worked at Nordstrom together. And when we worked at Nordstrom, they partnered with a salon that was really kind of chic and really kind of cool. I remember at one point of time calling it the Nordstrom of hair. So back in the early 2000s, a lot of us didn't have smartphones. We went to the actual desktop that he had and started just kind of looking up, what that salon had to offer. When I looked at their menu, their haircuts started at $50. But the owner was $200 a cut with a 6-month wait list. Mind you, this was also during a recession. I was like, that's the place. That's the place. So every chance I got when I was back in the Emerald City, I popped in, and every time, without a doubt, those very polished front desk girls would greet me, ask me if I wanted a tour, tell me about the space and the history. I mean, it was smooth. That's also, though, when I learned that they had a paid apprenticeship program. The way it worked was 2 days of advanced training, 3 days assisting in salon. Now that could be folding foils, sweeping, cleaning shampoo bowls, doing laundry. And then the further you got into the program, it would work into working with one of the senior stylists. It was a minimum wage job. You had no guarantees of becoming a stylist when you were done with the program for that salon. but you did have a shot. I was stoked. I was so excited to head back home and tell everybody about this incredible opportunity. But many people did not meet me with the same excitement. So you basically want to be a cleaning lady. You're not going to be having clients there? Isn't that why you're going to beauty school now, is to learn this stuff? It's almost like you don't want to make any money. Like the list went on and on. And that's really one of the first times I realized that sometimes what you're hearing is solid advice, and sometimes it's just rhetoric. Other people projecting their version of success onto you. So here's a question I had to ask myself, and that I want you to ask yourself in your journey too. When you're hearing this kind of rhetoric, does this advice actually align with where you want to go, or is it more based on their vision? Follow that up with, does your experience and knowledge line up with that vision? And are you willing and able to put in more now so you can stand where you want to later? For me, the answer was yes, 1,000 times, absolutely yes. I was willing to scrub that floor with a toothbrush for hours to ensure that I got to that level. I knew that that apprenticeship was my way to build my foundation, knowledge, and experience, as well as open up doors to opportunities that I might not have alone. Please remember, this is in a time before social media was used for trying to promote, and it was more used to just put up trashy pictures from the club. I knew that this place could really, really grow me, and I knew that I would only be able to hit those things if I put myself in an environment I wanted to grow in. Like I mentioned, not everyone understood. In fact, some people called me arrogant, full of myself. Some thought I was trying to be better than them. Some thought, oh, you're too good to do it this way. But the truth was, I just couldn't shrink myself into their version of success. Don't get it twisted. That's not me saying their version of success is small. It's just not my size. Not about to cut my toes off to fit a shoe that doesn't fit or that isn't meant for me. I'll never forget, though, that one instructor, the rockabilly one with the cool tattoos. Yeah, she looked at me and she was like, Kitty, that's so cool. I can't think of anyone who's ever gone and done something like that. I'm excited to see what that looks like for you. Here's what I want to leave you with. Everyone has a different path, a different variation of success, and not everyone will get yours, and that's okay. What matters is your foundation, because experience and knowledge aren't shortcuts. They're the ground you stand on, and they will take time to build. But you can only build it properly if you're putting yourself in the environment that can nurture it. So take your next step, not the one that makes the most sense to everybody else, but the one that aligns with the vision and the version of you that you know you're destined to be. Because success doesn't wear one size. It wears the one that fits you. So, where's your journey take you? Let's start a conversation. And as per usual, I'll see you next time where we'll have a chat that's not about a blow dryer.